Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel. So today I have a new brand of like wax bars to do because these are bars this time, not cubes, not shots, not tarts, but bars. And it is the Febreze brand. Very excited about that. I actually haven't seen a single person talk about them on YouTube yet, so that's kind of odd. Usually most people, especially something commercial like Febreze that you can easily find at Walmart or, you know, Target or whatever, no one's really spoke up about it yet. So, and they've been out for several weeks. I've just kind of waited this long to do a video because I would grab 2 or 3, you know, kind of while I'm at the store, and then eventually so I'd have enough to really talk about. So that's why I haven't even really done my own video yet. But if you guys aren't familiar, Febreze has their new brand. They have candles, the bars, and they have reed diffusers. Now, reed diffusers I hate. I can't stand reed diffusers no matter who makes them. The candles are a pretty decent size. I may try one, like whatever of these fragrances is kind of my favorite. I'll start maybe with one just to kind of see how they do. I mean, Febreze is awesome. It's a good brand. It's you know, it's popular and commercial, and it's definitely a good brand. I use it every day with fabric softeners and just freshening the home with sprays and stuff. So definitely a good brand, well-known brand. Who hasn't heard of Febreze? So I'm actually very excited when I first saw that they had this little home collection going on. One thing I do like about these, as far as the fact that they're the bar form, is they're kind of buttery. I thought at first it was because when I got home they had been in the warm car, but they've been sitting here for about a week. And it's still just like a soft, buttery stick, you know, kind of like you'll get like a little lotiony feeling texture when you pop it out of the package. But, so that's really interesting. So they melt very fast once they're popped into the burner. So I do love that they're just that kind of sweet buttery. The only bad thing about that is sometimes they're already busted up pretty good at the store. I don't necessarily care because I'm just going to bust it myself and throw it in a burner. So it's up to you if you're, you know, you care about that or not. But, you know, they might be a little busted sometimes when you find them. Now, Febreze, and I'm doing this one because you can see it a little better, but they did make their own burner. I didn't buy it because I certainly don't need it. I have, you know, plenty of burners. But it looks like this. It's $10. It's white, and, you know, it's just kind of a bowl, and it has the kind of a scooped out shaped bowl at the top, which is removable. Like, if you're familiar with it, it's easy access to, you know, get rid of, you know, the last cube, tart, whatever you're using. The best thing to do is pop it in the freezer for a minute. So it is removable, and it's electric. Some people, you know, sometimes it is surprising that I get people that pop by that are very new, or they're just now starting out with doing any kind of wax in general, especially when it comes to burners. And that's a lot of the main question I get asked a lot is about how to use burners and, you know, just different techniques to it. And there's really not much to it, but sometimes I know how I'm the same way. Like, I need to visually see something to understand, because there are people have different techniques. But Febreze does sell one, so it's $10. So if you're just starting out, or you want just a simple basic one that's easy to find, that's commercial, definitely go for it. I'm sure it works perfectly fine. So, and I'll just kind of go through. I think I have all the ones they make. If I'm missing any, it's like 1 or 2. I would just grab 2 or 3 each week I happen to go to the store until I've just finally had enough that I felt like, you know, I'll just get a bunch to talk about. So I have 12 here, so, you know, if I am missing any, it's like 1 or 2. But to start, I do have Almond Sugar, and I think this one's actually kind of my favorite of the bunch. It's definitely a good year-round one. You could definitely use it in the fall. You know, any kind of that sweet, it's not really bakery per se, but just that kind of a sweet fragrance can go any time of year. I mean, I really do love this one. It's pretty spot on. I mean, it just smells like a good, and if I hear that ruckus, my washing machine must be off balance a little bit. So, yeah, but I definitely love this one. I think it's my favorite because I can definitely use it anytime, especially in the fall even. So if I don't want to use it right away, it'll definitely be good to use after the summer's over. But definitely just a spot-on fragrance of just a sugary nut kind of fragrance. So definitely kind of like a butter pecan in a way. Then we do have Willow Blossom. Now, you guys have heard me over and over talk about that I love aquatic fragrances. So of course this was kind of a must for me. Definitely, and this is going to be hard to describe a lot of these because it is Febreze. And if you use it, you know that Febreze is just a very even though it might say apple or this or that, I mean, it's going to smell like a clean apple. Like, it's going to smell, you know, like that, but it's going to have that, you know, just a fresh, crisp, clean fragrance. So that's definitely true to all of these. So if I say that more than once, I apologize, but that is exactly what it is because it is Febreze. So, like, this one does smell very aquatic, but it smells like a very fresh, rainfall-y type of aquatic fragrance, which is definitely perfect and is strong, too. So it's definitely going to be a good one if you're cleaning house, having company over, you want something on the quick. It's perfect. So I do love this one, the Willow Blossom. And then we have Cranberry Pear. This one's actually quite strong as well. Definitely very citrusy, like just very fruity. Now this one doesn't so much have that kind of clean under, you know, like a just fabric softener kind of smell to it. This one actually does smell like pretty fresh fruit. I mean, of course, it's got a touch of, you know, that softness to it. But I love cranberry fragrances. And this one's just interesting because it is Cranberry Pear, but I love this one. If you're definitely a fruit fanatic, this will be perfect as far as starting out with the Febreze collection. Then we have Apple Currant, which this one is actually just very fresh, crisp. It's that typical apple fragrance you can get from anywhere. Just, I mean, we all know it. I mean, every company, every brand has just a apple. It just smells like that Macintosh apple. Kind of like Yankees Macintosh in a way. It's really exactly what it makes me think of. But yeah, it pretty much just smells like a very crisp, juicy red, like Macintosh apple. White peach is a good favorite one for me because I do love peach fragrances. And sometimes peach, like strawberry, can come off very, very artificial. So this one actually just has that, I guess, that clean undertone to it that gives a little something different, I guess, than your usual peach fragrance. Ooh, my bad. I really do like this one. I love peaches. This is like my favorite fruit ever is peaches. And so for me, any kind of peach fragrance is going to be, I want to try it. Like, I definitely want a peach fragrance. And so this one's actually very crisp and clean, of course. But definitely a good one. That might be the one that I would buy a candle. And definitely, I would think I'd buy the candle, that one. Then we have Orange Honeycomb. I do like that with these fragrances, they're kind of doing, you know, two random ones that may or may not make sense together. Kind of like having Cranberry Pear, Orange Honeycomb. You know, there's a couple of other ones that, you know, they're kind of random collaborations, but they work so well, and I like that it's original that way too, that it's not something that's just been over and done like apple and cinnamon or something that's just so cliche. So this one is pretty darn awesome because it's different. It's nothing that I've bought from Yankee or Bath & Body Works before. It kind of makes me think of a perfume in a way a little bit, but not, I mean, not hugely. Not, if you're melting it, you're not going to think that someone just sprayed perfume per se. But it's just definitely, it's the honeycomb, man. It's that citrus with the honeycomb that really, really does something to it. And this is kind of an example of one that I said that was kind of busted, but it's because they are just so soft and buttery that I'm sure in transport they just can't exactly stay put. But I don't mind because actually that saves me the trouble of having to break it up myself. But that's actually another favorite of mine. One of the top ones of this collection, this little series, is the Orange Honeycomb. Next to the peach one, I think that's one that I might actually try the candle of, because this one I think is my absolute favorite, like absolute of the 12 that I've got. You've got to just smell it for yourself because I have not smelled anything like it. So that's really, really all I know to tell you guys is you just, are going to have to smell it for yourself. Sorry about that. I'm just kind of like going through everything. I'm just getting over like a really bad stomach bug too. So I'm just now having like energy to do stuff again. So moving onward, we have Rosewood Plum. Definitely a good dark fragrance. And this one, it's not quite as spot on as you would think. I don't exactly just get plum from it. There's just something to it. Because I'm not very familiar with rosewood to kind of know what I would be comparing it to. But that definitely does give it this dark edge to it. This is a good one. Definitely for the fall. I could really see myself melting this one more in the fall than necessarily right now. But this is a good dark one if you're someone who likes those very heavy fragrances because it's not floral. It's more of a woodsy, just that kind of, you know, fragrance that we know is that just kind of a musky fragrance to it. Definitely good. Definitely a good dark one that I could see being very strong. So I do like that one a lot. So this is another one that I think is an interesting collaboration one, is Lavender Blueberry. This one's very soft for a lot of you guys that are lavender fanatics. I don't like lavender a lot. I mean, it's better than anything like lilacs and hydrangeas and stuff that I cannot stand. But I do like lavender if I ever had to pick a floral fragrance. But having the blueberry with it is definitely interesting. It's just very soft and light. It's kind of strange because I don't necessarily smell like it smells like a fresh blueberry, but it's very sweet and feminine fragrance smelling, and it's very light. So, but I can't say, you know, how heavy they're going to be when they're melting. I've only melted one so far. I've just started. So this one I think will be a very refreshing feminine light fragrance throughout the home. I don't think it's going to be an overpowering floral. Some people I know are very nauseated by florals, but this one seems very, very girly and pretty and just fluffy, if you could pick. Palm leaf, another one. You know, I love my aquatic stuff. I love anything that's just, you know, waterfalls, rainfalls, you know, any of those kind of fragrances. This is one, it took me forever to find it because nobody ever had it in stock. And then finally they got it in stock one day. So it's kind of the last one that I've bought. But definitely good. I mean, that's just, you know, I hate to just say, be very repetitive about it, but it's just another very, this one's a lot stronger than the Willow Blossom, though. Definitely heavier, but it's just a very aquatic fragrance. You know, you just think of these typical, you know, like rainfall ones, which there is this one here, Agave Rainfall. This one's different. This one is definitely more of like the clean fabric softener kind of aquatic one to it, which is kind of perfect. To me, this one's in the middle of those two. The Willow Blossom is very, very light. The Palm Leaf is very, very heavy and dark. And this one's kind of like the perfect middleman that just smells like a good aquatic, like fabric softener. So it's definitely very, I love this one. I love those, and the fact that they came out with this kind of series of, you know, aquatic ones are just perfect for me and everything that I love to smell, you know, smell my home very wonderful. So definitely another good one. And then we also have another one, kind of. It's called Mineral Springs. This is the one that I've actually been melting right now. It's in my living room, and I can smell it in here, and it's just amazing. It's just another aquatic one that's just very... This one's a lot lighter. This one's, you know, it definitely... I'm trying to think what's making this one a little bit different. This one doesn't really smell like the fabric softener type of things, you know, just that kind of clean cotton smell that they just kind of slap into everything to make it kind of fresh smelling. But this one is just a very fresh smelling. It's not, you know, cottony, but it's just fresh. It just smells like a very fresh, dewy kind of fragrance, and that's just, I love it. I just absolutely love any of these aquatic ones. And the last one that I do have is Geranium Bamboo. Another good greenery fragrance, very fresh, kind of like a... This one actually does kind of have like a fresh garden, you know, like working out in your garden kind of smell. Because it doesn't smell like grass at all, like cut grass or anything like that. But it's definitely not floral either. It just really smells like, just, I don't know, kind of like when things are in bloom. And it just kind of has that very greenery kind of fragrance. I know that sounds probably really dumb, but it's just, it doesn't smell like a flower, but it doesn't smell like grass. It just smells like nature in a way. Definitely a good one for you guys who just like that very neutral, fresh, again, I know I'm going to say fresh a lot because it is Febreze, but it's just definitely one of those. It's just a very fresh, outdoorsy kind of fragrance. So this is the Febreze stuff. Again, if there's any I'm missing, there's probably like one or two that I could be missing. It's just I don't always remember exactly what I've picked up when I go to the store because this is kind of collective, so... I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys try it, because I'm in love with them so far, and I've only even melted just one of them. And I would say start with Orange Honeycomb, because that one, it just smells amazing. Like, it is just, and it's nothing I've smelled before. I think that's why I love it so much. So, as always, comment, rate, subscribe, you guys. I've got more stuff to come, so I will see all you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.